Hey everybody, welcome back to the How to Learn Python tutorial. Today we will be talking about variables. Now if you don't have Python installed and haven't watched the previous videos, I would go ahead and do that now before you watch this video. If you do have Python installed, then we can go ahead and get started. Now variables are extremely important to any programming language. It's a way to store a piece of information and reference it throughout different parts of your program. Variables in Python are known to be extremely easy to create, and some would say even too easy. Yes, that is possible. So variables have three parts. The first part is the variable name. This can be anything that you want it to be. So, for example, we can name it my variable. I guess I should specify it can't be anything you want it to be. Things like print, which is a Python command, won't work as a variable name. But we'll stick with my variable for now. The second part is an equal sign. This is just one equal sign. Two equal signs actually mean something else, and we'll talk about that in a later video. The third portion is your actual piece of information, or the type of data that you want to store in your variable. So there are a couple different data types that we'll talk about in this video that you can use. One of the easiest is an integer. So an integer is something we all know from math, just a whole number, either positive or negative. So for example, if we wanted to store 234, we could type it in. And now we hit enter, and my variable is set to 234. So now if we do a print statement on my variable, we get 234. Or if we do my variable plus 1, we get 235. So that's how you assign an integer to a variable. So what other types of data can we store? Well, we can store something called a Boolean. So a Boolean is either a 0 or a 1, true or false. It's highly used in if and else statements, which is something, again, we will talk about in a later video. But to assign a Boolean to a variable, you do the same thing and type in true with a capital T. For a true statement, we can print that out, and false with a capital F for a false statement. We'll print that out as well. And that's how you assign Booleans. Another data type is a string, which is just a list of characters, either numbers, letters, etc., that are wrapped in quotation marks. So to set my variable to a string, we can use one quotation mark, and you can use a single or double. You just want to be consistent. And then we can do ABC 1, 2, 3. And if we print that, we get ABC 1, 2, 3 printed to the console. Finally, the last data type I want to talk about is lists, which lists have multiple pieces of data in them, which can be integers, booleans, strings, or the other data types that Python provides. So to create a list, you use the brackets. So we'll do a left bracket, and we'll do a number for our first entry in the list of 12. We'll do a Boolean value of true for our second entry, and hello as a string for our third entry. Notice each entry is separated by commas. Then we hit enter, and we can print that out as well, and it will print out the list with all three of our entries in it. So there are ways to loop through lists and get certain pieces of information out of lists, which again we'll talk about in a later video. So this video just went over how to create a variable and went over the basics of Booleans, integers, lists, and strings, some of the most common pieces of data in Python. So if you have any questions, please write them down in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys learned something. Peace.